The race among the giants of so-called economic and industrial development goes on as mercilessly as ever. In the meantime, globalization has become one of the most repeated words throughout the world. This round word can be defined from many different angles. For the indigenous tribal people of India, however, it has come to mean the loss of their lands, displacement, death, torture, rape, and all-round degradation. The International Association of People's Lawyers is a federation of organizations and individuals who are committed to advocating social justice and respect for human rights. Among its members is the Indian Association of People's Lawyers.
Even in areas where there are struggles, unconnected with the Maoist movement, but there are struggles for defending the rights of the people, repression is extreme. Of course, the intensity of the repression varies with the intensity of the armed force of the people resisting. That has to be said.
By the end of 2005, the IAPL was receiving reports of gross human rights violations against the tribal people in Chhattisgarh. Upon the request of its Indian chapter, the IAPL put together an international delegation for a fact-finding mission. In October 2007, the delegation arrived in India.
He traveled and visited Raipur, Jagdalpur, Dantewada, and surrounding rural areas. We spoke with different actors in the district, including the Superintendent of Police of Dantewada, the Deputy of Prisons, human rights lawyers, scholars, representatives of NGOs and other international organizations, such as Médecins Sans Frontières, and officials of a program supported by the UNICEF.
Their investigation revealed a sobering reality about the still ongoing tragedy of the tribal people in the region, involving a certain Salwa Judum campaign, the Indian government, powerful corporations, and the Maoist guerrilla movement, otherwise locally known as the Naxalite movement. At the heart of the conflict lies the massive displacement of the tribal people and illegal acquisition of their lands. These resource-rich lands are targeted by the government and corporations for investments and industrial projects such as iron mining. And the people of this region are exiled to government-run concentration camps. Like globalization, these camps too are defined from many different angles, where sometimes facts get drowned out by myths. This is an attempt to distinguish facts from myths from the perspective of the tribal people. The official story is that these are shelters provided by the government for those who had to flee their homes because of Naxalite violence. About 50,000 tribal people are kept in 20 camps. These places are officially called relief camps for internally displaced persons, or shortly, IDP camps. They are run by the government with support from certain international agencies such as UNICEF. The fact is, these are concentration camps for the indigenous tribal people who are forced to abandon their villages by the violent displacement campaign run directly by the government. An overwhelming majority of people flee their homes because of state terrorism.
Throughout the day she lives here, and then she goes away. Because everything is being pilfered here. There's nobody to look after. They have built the whole thing, with their labor, with their all those things here. So she is now questioning what is the use of this Salwa Judum. Now she has been forced there. Now she has to come in the morning because they are pilfering the things. So I am protecting my property and so on, being here in the morning and go back there.
And
in the evening. And she by herself is not afraid.
She's not afraid.
Yes.
So why is she going back to the camp?
She is afraid of police. She is not afraid of Naxalites. You see, she wants to stay here.
But
Back,
it's because she's afraid from the police. She
because
don't come
police
back.
pressurizes her
And, yeah.
every day.
Just, her beginning story was, if you just,
Yeah.
that they remained here even after Salwa Judum was started for 4 months. One day, a dead body was found here. Now, see, the police came, then they threatened us that, see, who has killed this, what has happened? They said, you see, we don't know anything. So therefore, see, they were forced that if you don't leave this, now, see, then you will be taken to task. क्यों?
जुड़ुम में जाके
क्यों?
अब ये यहाँ आके यहाँ रहते हैं अब ये
नहीं तो वहाँ क्यों रह रही हो जब तुम्हें डर नहीं है?
अब जुड़ुम चालू करे पुलिस वाले डरा के धमकाएंगे लेके गए वहाँ पे
The police, you see, have threatened them after this Judum was started. So they are afraid that they will beat them up, and unless you see, we go there. Otherwise, we are not afraid about anybody. This is what she says.
पूरे डरा धमका के लेके गए हैं हम लोग
They have threatened them and they have forced them to go there. Otherwise, they had no problem.
By the police.
By the police.
The situation is heavy militarization. The army is not there, but there are 12 to 14 battalions, CRPF, there is IRB, there is Naga battalion, there is Mizo battalion. These people are, they're actually acting like an occupational army with the people there. So now people are really fighting for their field, for their home, for their, chickens and goats and everything. It's a question of their life and livelihood. That is the scale.
The official story is that the Salwa Judum is people's own movement against the Naxalites, and that naturally the government supports them in order to counter terrorism. What is tried to be presented as a spontaneous movement by the government is nothing short of a mercenary army, mainly to facilitate an optimal ground for corporate investments and exploitation.
For example, on 4th of June 2005, government celebrates, this year also celebrated, 2nd anniversary of Salwa Judum. That means government itself says that we have started Salwa Judum on 4th of June 2005. And this is the date on which Tata company has signed MOU with the government of Chhattisgarh, 4th of June 2005. So the date on which an MOU is signed, Salwa Judum starts on the same day. Can it be mere coincidence?
This is the website of a think tank organization, the Institute for Conflict Management. Regionally, it focuses on South Asia. In an article published on this site, certain facts regarding the Salwa Judum are accurately pointed out. In the article, a former Director General of Police states the following.
While official sources maintain that the campaign, led by a local legislator, is hugely successful with the tribal people joining it in large numbers, local inquiries revealed a different picture. In the name of Salwa Judum, the tribal people are being forced to join a far from spontaneous mobilization.
If the violence is there, then we are saying that the Salwa Judum means peace mission. It is a people's movement, indigenous people's own movement. And government says that we simply support them. If it is a people's movement, then there are, again question comes. In a remote area where there are no communication, no road, nothing is there, how so many people from 644 villages on a different dates and sometime in a group, they come together, they assemble there and they decide that yes, we want to migrate or we want to go out from this place. How, when they have decided, how they have decided, and what was the communication mode? There was none.
Another reason why the Salwa Judum is not a spontaneous movement created by the local people is that an overwhelming majority of the tribal people in the region are deeply wary of the government and corporations, by whom they have been repeatedly deceived, whereas they have found the Naxalite movement to be a far more reliable and respectable entity. Not surprisingly, the popular support for the Naxalite movement is an obvious reality in the region. According to various internal security reports, the Naxalite movement enjoys massive support throughout a significant part of India called the Red Corridor. In order to eliminate the movement, the government is not only aware of the atrocities committed by the Salwa Judum, but also is directly involved in its maintenance, target decisions, and operations. The situation is officially presented as if the tribals had to abandon their homes and take shelter at these camps due to some sort of natural disaster or escape the reign of violence at the scale of an ethnic cleansing by an armed terrorist group. Such a storyline also implies that the tribals are grateful to the government and to the Salwa Judum for providing them with shelters at these camps. The fact is, an overwhelming majority of nearly 50,000 people who are kept in the camps are forced to abandon their villages, and they are retained in these camps against their will.
ये बताओ तुम्हें यहाँ क्यों यहाँ से ले जा रहे हैं?
यही से ले जा रहे हैं बोलते या तो पुलिस हाथे डरा धमका के तो
क्यों तुमसे दुश्मनी है?
करके भी लेके जाते हैं।
नहीं वो तो ठीक है लेकिन तुमसे दुश्मनी है उनकी।
हमारा क्या दुश्मनी नहीं ना उधर से नहीं हम इधर से नहीं लेकिन आते हैं तो डरा धमका के लेके जाते हैं।
She said that police is beating us up, forcing us to go there. We have neither dushmani, enmity on this side nor enmity on that side. We have not afraid, but it is the police which is forcing us out from this village.
So what does she think is the reason why they are being beaten up and being forced?
They don't know.
They don't know.
Villagers are taken to the camps by Salwa Judum and police forces, alleging them as Naxal supporters. And on the same ground, they are not allowed to go back. No, she says, no, we are not coming back. I said, why? She said, the Salwa Judum is not allowing.
Not surprisingly, they are full of resentment towards the Salwa Judum and the government. Officially, it's claimed that the tribal people are better off at these camps, meaning they are safer, they are comfortable and well kept, and that they have better chances at integrating into the modern world. The fact is, camps have devastating social and psychological effects on the tribal people. They lose their sense of identity, pride, and function that they had in their own environment. Detached from their own natural habitat, they become listless and deeply depressed. They are made rootless, dependent, and lethargic.
They are just sitting idle there. They are not doing anything in the camp. They don't have any property as land and animals, anything else.
They are malnourished and confined to live in cramped and windowless makeshift sheds.
अब क्या करेंगे तो अब तो घर द्वार नहीं है फिर आना पड़ रहा है यहाँ चाकू खड़ा
तो खाने कमाने का क्या हो रहा है?
अब खाने का वैसे ही हो जुड़म का चावल देते इतनी था
तो घर हो जाता है पूरा
खा से होता बीच में तो खत्म हो जाता
फिर क्या करती हो?
क्या करते हैं वो पैसे वैसे रहने वाले खरीद को खा लेते।
She says that some rice is given by the Judum people for their maintenance, but that is not sufficient. So if you see they have to arrange, from this side, that side, to meet both hands meet. That is what she says basically.
इधर रहने से मस्त सुविधा रहे हम लोग को खेती किचन करने वाले अभी खेती किचन भी नहीं कर रहे हैं और जुड़म का चावल कितना दिन चलेगा?
She says that we were so well off with our land here, with our agriculture here, but now how long with this small amount of the rice which is given by the Judum will last?
Camps are densely put together on limited surfaces. The allowed movement area for the camp residents is incomparably smaller than the areas where the tribals traditionally live. In their villages, tribals enjoy the benefits of their generous environment. They farm, gather, and celebrate their sense of community. The official claim is that these are provisional relief camps, meaning that once the region is cleared of Maoist guerrillas, people will have more freedom of movement, and that as the region develops economically and industrially, people will be naturally integrated to the modern way of life, and only a small number of them will want to remain in their remote villages. At this point, it seems that the only true part of these claims is that these camps are temporary, but not for the reasons that are officially mentioned. They are temporary because such a large number of people cannot be permanently maintained at these camps. If the situation goes on as it is, without the rule of law, most probably these people will be eventually let down into the already huge army of desperately poor population in and on the outskirts of cities. Unable to cope with the intricacies of mainstream society, with its unfamiliar legal and economic structures, they will lose their tribal economic roots, their identity, and their pride. They will be marginalized and be condemned to remain among the population of the lowest castes in the strictly class and caste-bound Indian society.